Well, hello again. It's Kathy. We here talk about the science-based benefits of meditation from everywhere these days. Meditation reduces stress, controls anxiety, and makes it much easier to focus and to treat others with kindness instead of biting people's heads off. In other words, it helps us ditch our unconscious fear-based ego self to enjoy the love-based divine self. So why don't we all do it? It's hard, boring. When you sit still, your mind flies around like a fly trapped in a jar. I don't think you're alone. The percentage of people who feel just that way would be approximately 100%. But we are trainable, really. And there are so many styles and methods of meditation to help us out. You can start small, or you can dive right into the deep end of the ocean. A great way to immerse yourself in an intense meditation boot camp is to learn Vipassana, the extreme sports of meditation. It's not for everyone, but you might be entertained to hear about it anyway. As the story goes, Vipassana was the meditation technique that the Buddha used to attain enlightenment. There's only one way to learn it, and that is at a 10-day silent meditation retreat, not counting the day you begin or the morning you finish. There's no charge, but you can leave a donation at the end. Vipassana centers are financed entirely by students, old and new. You surrender any food, reading or writing materials, or electronics that you brought with you when you check in. You will spend the 10 days alone in your own little world, not making eye contact with anyone, and learning to be with yourself without distraction. Ah! Morning bell rings at 4 a.m. Breakfast is at 6:30. No coffee or caffeine, but the food is delicious, organic and vegetarian. Lunch is at 11 a.m. And if it's your first time as a new student, you get fruit at the tea break at 5 p.m. Surprisingly, you really don't get hungry, and you effortlessly eat very mindfully, perhaps for the first time ever, really paying attention to every bite. For the first 3.5 days, you learn to focus on the breath going in and out of your nose, past your nostrils, and onto the area just above your lip. That's it. 10 hours a day for 3.5 days. There are breaks in there. You develop a previously unsuspected sensitivity to very subtle sensations in and around your nose, on the skin above your lip, right below your nose. It might feel slight, tingly, scratchy, warm, cold, electrical, soft, all kinds of feelings and sensations when you pay microscopic attention. This is Anapana meditation, and for the rest of your life, you can always come back to your breath like this to calm and focus your mind. Anapana is what most people have in mind when you mention the word meditation, coming to the breath. For the next 6.5 days, you learn to feel those same subtle as well as gross sensations on every inch of your skin and throughout your entire body. Ultimately, you'll scan your body from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes and back again, in tiny sections, in big sections, internally, quickly, very slowly, or stopping to concentrate on one area of sensation. You can mix it up where your attention goes so that you can always vary the practice at will. Though Vipassana is not associated with any religion or culture, anyone can use it. It uses the Buddhist concept that all suffering comes from either craving or aversion, wanting things that you don't have, or having things that you don't want. In other words, wanting things to be different than they are. The emotions we feel when we think these stressful thoughts over and over throughout our whole life solidify in the body and manifest as dis-ease, discomfort, complaining, pain, anxiety, anger, and fear, among others, and are called sankharas. When you can quiet your mind and focus your attention on the body's sensations, emotions, pains, joys, and everything in between come up. They bubble up to the surface. They just appear and then pass away. This is releasing the sankharas, freeing up the stuck energy held in your body. Paying close attention to the sensations in your body during Vipassana meditation brings a deep understanding that all sensations pass. If you focus intently on an ache, you'll find it moves or dissipates over time. All things are impermanent. You learn to be 1, aware of subtle and gross sensations, pleasurable and painful, and to be 2, equanimous, to treat all emotions, events, and pains with equanimity, non-reaction, non-judgment to whatever comes up and then passes away. Because all things will pass. You're not attached to outcomes. You're attuned to what is happening now, in this moment. With a long-term practice, you don't collect any new sankharas. You let things be as they are, and you release your body's sankharas until you have no more, and you are enlightened. Personally, I've attended 3 Vipassana retreats in 2008, 2011, and 2018. All of them at the Kaufman, Texas Vipassana Center outside of Dallas. The Kaufman Center is rare in that it has very simple but private rooms with your own shower, a huge new meditation hall, and a pagoda with your own individual meditation cell. New students have more group meditation requirements, while old students can choose to meditate some of the time in their room or in their cell. It has a big pond on the women's side and some little walking trails that I love. Lots of turtles and birds, including owls, jackrabbits, and I even saw a bobcat there once. At the first retreat, I was hating life the first 2 or 3 days. I had caffeine withdrawal, a headache, vague nausea at first, along with wanting to scream at this agony. I wanted out. No wonder you have to be quiet. But they would all be raving lunatics there. Being alone with only your thoughts, without the distractions that we habitually employ to avoid our uncomfortable feelings, was hell on earth. The world's most humongous ego attack. But it got better. It got easier as I released and relaxed my resistance. I feeling the best physically that I could ever remember. My body was relaxed and loose. I'd lost weight. I had tons of energy. My mood was so much lighter. The second retreat, about the 2nd and 6th days, traditionally known as the hardest, I was silently sobbing in the meditation hall when I envisioned first the death of my youngest brother and how horrific that loss would be. I just couldn't stop. The grief flooded and flooded me, way more intense than the real deal would even have been. Next, I had absolute over-the-top panic over losing money. What would we do if we lost everything? Again, unstoppable weeping. These sankharas releasing can be fierce, but wow, you know you're letting go of some huge stored burdens. When I left that time, my lifelong habit of biting my nails had disappeared for good without my even noticing. The third time was much less eventful, and each retreat got easier. Today, Vipassana is my go-to method of meditation, even though I only do it about 15 minutes before bed. When I learned about Vipassana, it was one of those things I knew would be tough, but I was irresistibly drawn to it anyway. I was fairly new to my spiritual practice at the time, so my ego put up quite a fight at that first retreat. But I truly believe that if you want to be free of the ego's tyranny, developing a meditation practice will make it much easier to shine that divide.